to the deciding game in this round of 128 match in the open qualifiers for the $20,000 Winter Championship of Age of Empires 4. Winner of this going to go through to the round of 64. Spawning in the north of the map, we have Viola playing as the Rus. Spawning in the south, we have Fitzbro playing as the English, having had Viola play as the English the last one. Very unusual map spawn here. What are you thinking about this one, Beasty?
Wait, so Viola, this is his map pick.
This is, yes, this is Viola's map pick, right.
That's interesting. People usually don't pick King of the Hill, like ever, as their home map. So that's pretty cool to see. And he actually decides to go for Rus on this map, which, again, very interesting. Rus is not really known to be, picked on this map too often. But one thing we see is it is looking very, very clear and not a lot of wood on the side of English.
Not just not a lot of wood. What wood?
There should be wood in the corner, like you see on the Rus side. But as you can see, Rus has plenty of wood, but English.
He's actually not got a wood line. What?
And let me tell you guys, English actually needs wood. Those steel borders aren't gonna make themselves. So,
no.
Like the longer the game, if this game goes past these two tiny tree lines, he's gonna need to get wood all the way away from his base, and that might turn out to be a funny one.
I've actually never seen I've never seen this before like this. Now I need to say something to everyone in the chat calling for a restart. There's a reason that that's not possible. First of all, there's a 5-minute delay. Second of all, the biggest problem is right now we've got 100 games going on simultaneously, and what you can't do is just allow a restart in one situation. This is one of these things that just really, really sucks. I can tell you that for the last day of every EGC event, we offer bespoke map seeds. And that is a huge amount of work with the current RNG situation that literally like hours and hours and hours of work goes into getting enough seeds to make a fair event on the last day of every tournament. Am I happy? I mean, I can tell you as my tournament, and am I happy to see a map like this? Like, no, and I wish there was something we could do about it. But this is one of these like right to the devs situation, not to the TOs. It's really not good to see, but unfortunately, there's just nothing we can do about it. I mean, but it's a really tough pill.
Like, the wood for English is terrible. Like, I think that's obvious. But if you look at the food situation, English will have a lot easier time because they have 2 back berries. Meanwhile, Rus has 1 middle of the map berries and then all the way to the left. Yeah. Also, the relics are on the English's side. So, while the wood line isn't great, the other stuff is nicer for English. Will it come into play is it's hard to say, but that's something that we'll have yet to see. Because if English manages to deny the front barriers and the left barriers, the Rus will have harder time actually, moving out if English manages to contain them. And again, the relics are on the English's side, which is not perfect for Rus, but that's what happens with random map generation, I guess.
I mean, it's not really what's supposed to happen with random map generation, but
I mean, this is bad for English. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, but yeah.
But it's one of these things that I don't fully understand because I mean, my understanding of the program of random map generation is it is meant to say in the code, two wood lines within X tiles, but or whatever, but not happened on this occasion. Now. Bounty at 270 for Rus, which is not a disaster, but it did take him, I was watching that bounty, it did take him a while to get there. So he was at tier 1 for quite a long time. The question is, should we take a look at Fitzbro's line of sight and see, does he know? Yeah, he knows how bad his wood situation is, yeah, he knows. Okay, I was interested to see if he'd yet realised just how bad his wood situation is, and I'm sure he's currently pulling his hair out, so he's... Now, the question is whether Viola knows how bad his wood situation, and the answer is no. So, I mean, Viola has actually no clue that Fitzbro is in this situation. So that's something that might be playing to his advantage a bit. That, you know. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I mean, he's now gone to this wood line, but it's not even that's not a wood line. I mean, he's going to get through that playing as the English very, very quickly.
Yeah. One thing I want to say, you know, if there's any developers watching, please, like, these tiny tree lines on this map are not, like, they're not fun. They're not good. Please just add normal forests. I hate, a lot of people hate actually playing on this map because you chop down through these, like, 10 woods so fast and then you have to move. It sounds fun on paper, but not really. On Viola's side, by the way, we do see double stable. So, you know, French worked for him in game 1, and he's like, you know what, I'm just going to do French playstyle again with Rus this time, and I'm just going to make knights.
Which is an absolute disaster with Fitzbro's wood situation. The last thing that he would want to see is his opponents going to double nut. I mean, like, not even going for a slightly, you'd hope a slightly boomy approach, but oh god, knights heading out into that. Oh, I mean, he is at least building a barracks. If he can get... So he knows the situation is bad because he's got the outpost out. He's building the barracks very, very quickly. How many villages does he have on that barracks? He has like 8 villages on the barracks, desperately trying to get spearmen out. So he does know there's a problem incoming. Now got those hardened spearmen in queue. So, I mean, that's pretty good for him. It's one of those situations where it's not even like Fitzbro was the one that chose this map. He had it thrust upon him. Like, at least if Fitzbro had chosen to play on it and this happened, you'd be like, well, you know, you asked for it. But... I actually like what Fitzbro's done here. He's done a pretty damn good job of dealing with the situation, getting that outpost up, getting those hardened spearmen in training. So it doesn't look too bad for him. He's doing the only thing he can do, right, which is try and gain some map control. Because without map control, he's got absolutely nothing. Although just how much map control he needs to get wood is like this is his nearest wood, but.
I think his play should be actually walling off the left side. It's super easy to wall, and he can definitely just secure that. Because while playing against knights is super annoying, if he actually walls off the left wood line, he can actually get a lot of wood there for free. The one thing that's annoying, it is far away, but he should be just fine getting the wood there. We do see the budget French knights moving across the map. There are enough spearmen to defend. I think he'll be fine. Oh,
there's 4 knights there. You think there's... I don't know if there are enough spearmen there. Oh, they're out of position, and... I mean, that wasn't a... Well, if he can get 1 more knight down, it wouldn't be a terrible trade, right? But he doesn't manage to, so... I mean, it wasn't an absolute disaster for Fitzbro. Probably Viola coming off slightly better on that trade there, but... Expensive unit went down, so... I mean, Fitzbro's doing okay. He's clinging on. The problem is, this wood is almost finished as well, so he does need to start looking where he's going to go next for wood now. I mean, he might be waiting a little bit too long to advance onto the next wood line. He's got... I can't see on the minimap anywhere else where he's planning to get wood from next, but gonna have to start thinking about that pretty soon.
Yeah, I think if he picks his backside a little bit now, walls off the right side of the map, then he will have this front kind of secured, walls off the left side, and I think he'll be fine actually with... He's gonna have plenty of food with the berries. He can start on the farms, and I do feel that the longer the game goes, I think this is better for English because, you know, he will be transitioning to farms, which is very, very good food gathering for English, and he could just kind of go to castle, get another TC. But Rus is very committed to these knights. These knights are very expensive. This is not something you crank out 10 knights and then you are like, oh, I'll go castle. You're committing to this quite a bit. So he kind of needs to do something with it.
Talking of which, he's trying to do something with it right now, coming with a raid, but doesn't look like he did anything with that raid at all. And now he's got those knights stuck underneath the TC. Not going to lose anyway. He's got 1 on. He does manage to lose 1 knight. And another just about to go down. And it does go down. So 2 knights went down there for pretty minimal damage. Fitzbro spotted that very, very early. These are quite expensive losses. And now he's got his spearman on top of another knight with Viola not paying attention there. That's a lot of knights going down pretty quickly.
Yeah, and these knights don't regen, so these are,
another knight going down. Oof.
Yeah. Oh god, the back knights, another one. Oh no. Yeah, this is just a disaster. Like, these guys don't heal like the French knights, so when they take damage, they might as well be dead. So this is just not looking good. Committing to double stable all these knights. Did he even kill a villager there in all of that?
I don't think one villager went down. We're going to look at the graph after. I didn't see a single villager go down there. I think no villagers were lost. And I think he lost about, what, five knights? 6 knights there total?
Yeah, 5 or 6 knights. So this is quite an expensive one. Like I said, you know, Fitzbro, I mean, now he can push the issue, right? He just killed so many knights that he has to know that, you know, he actually has the army to just push the opponent. But before that, he didn't really need to do anything because knights are one of those units where you can't really make 30 of them into spears and hope it's gonna go well. Especially because they're so gold and food heavy that he kind of needed to do something with them. Tried, did not pay off, and now English player can, you know, push across the map and do some damage. And he actually might run into these deer, which I'm not sure if he scouted earlier.
Oh, but, wow.
Yeah.
That could be huge. I mean, I love this from Fitzbro because he knows his opponent's just invested so much into these knights and that none of them are on the field. So he's taking the initiative and he's got enough longbowmen to one-shot some of these villages. 1 goes down, 2 goes down, which is already far better than the rate of his opponent. So 2 villagers going down there, and all of a sudden, Viola has a bit of a problem on his hands there. He has managed to get together some more early knights, but there's enough spearmen. Oh, but he needs to get them back in time. He needs to get them back. I think he's okay. He's okay. Oh, well, kind of okay. He lost a few there, but now it's a bit of a micro battle. If they can pick off enough of these archers, which he's doing a pretty good job of here, Longbow, keeping these spearmen on top of the knights. Another knight going down. Not looking too bad here for Fitzbro.
Yeah, I mean, he's just picking off units, you know, denying food. Now, Viola did go to the right side, and, you know, that's great. He's going to have a bunch of food. Now, if Fitzbro recognizes that, he can just gather his army, gather reinforcements, and push that. The question is, once those deer are out, he's going to go for the back berries, and where does he go after? He will be completely starved for food, or he will be forced into farms, which is not something you want to do that early, unless you're English, and will kind of slow down his economy by quite a bit.
Yeah, another favourable engagement here for Fitzbro. Like, oh, actually putting up the palings there as well, which is a nice little thing to see. Lots of units going down. He's got the spearmen right on top of these royal knights, but does he have enough spearmen? Wow, it looks to have done okay. Probably could do with a few more spearmen in there. He's in a bit of danger here unless... Oh no, the knights do get on top of the archers and... Yeah, a little bit of an overcommit there maybe from Fitzbro. Not enough spearmen with those longbows. Did manage to lose a lot. Considerable mass dropping. That being said, a few of those knights are on relatively low health, but Viola doing a good job of picking off these spearmen, even with his 3 remaining knights.
Yeah, his reinforcements was a little bit all over the place. You can see him kind of gathering now. But he is still trading way better. I mean, he's killing gold units with, you know, with Strelboras and some spearmen. So even though he's kind of getting cleaned up, I still prefer his position. Because these knights, I mean, they're as good as dead, right? These 5 knights that are in the field, they're just... They're, one spearman can clear up 3 or 4 of those. So I think he's still in a decent position. He should just slow down a little bit, gather up his units, you know, and just kind of mass up an army and go for it again. He knows that his opponent is still massing knights, so he should know that castle is not coming. And you can see he has a lot of units here. Rus cannot push into this. All right.
Oh. He's pushing into that with these knights sharing about 1 hit point between them, and I think 3 or 4 of them went down to 1 archer there. That was maybe an ill-advised position to push in, but it looks relatively evenly poised. Maybe take a quick eco take. So Fitzbro is sitting on the 40 villagers, Viola on the 44. But Fitzbro gonna be, he's already transitioned to that farming economy. Where is he currently getting his wood from? Well, he was getting his wood from here, but yeah, that's about to run out. So where is he gonna head next? This is, I think, why he's being so aggressive and continually pushing, because he just doesn't know where his next wood's gonna come from. You've kind of got to feel if Fitzbro had a decent wood source, he'd be looking really, really strong right now. Building an outpost here in the middle of the field, probably to use the network of castles, but maybe maybe he should have headed over perhaps towards this wood here, or at least down here, but I don't know where he's planning to go right now with his villagers to get wood. But it looks like there's another big engagement coming, and now he does have a lot of spears, unlike before. And Viola crunches into that, but there's very, very nice number of spears suddenly on the field for Fitzbro. Viola pulling back from this situation. Fitzbro doing that gradual creep that you sometimes see, pushing forward. In fact, Beasty, I see you playing a lot of games with that style of the slow creeping forward with the mass, gradually gaining map control. Very, very nice tactic to see.
Yeah, I mean, he's just securing the middle. Like, Rus doesn't really want to fight into Network of Castles buff, although he is leaving the buff area, so his longbows do not have it right now. And that is actually a lot of units for Rus, and not that many for English, so he should be careful, because he might be overextending currently. So he should just, like I said, go back, you know, amass an army. He has the map control, for sure. Rus cannot really contest everything on the map, as long as there's a huge, big army clump for Fitzbro, and his army is actually getting completely picked off. The spearmen are dead, and now the knights can just clean up the longbows.
Maybe that was a, well, that was a serious cleanup, and maybe just not a confrontation that Fitzbro really needed to take. He does have 5 units still in the outpost, which is, well, I mean, those archers are going to take a very, very long time to take the outpost down, but, yeah, was maybe not something that Fitzbro needed to do. Probably the pressure was. Now he finally does find a bigger wood line. That for the first time in this match, he's found a significant piece of wood to start logging at. So that's at least something. Another barracks going now for Fitzbro. Scores pretty close. I mean, the match feels very, very even. Fitzbro, for all of that damage done to his military, he's not suffered any damage to his economy yet. So that's going to help him. And actually, the angle that Viola's taking right now is not going to do very much damage to the eco of Fitzbro, because he's got his very powerful English town centre sitting here. There's no real eco on this side of his town centre at all. It's all over here. And Viola doesn't know that. So these knights not really going to be able to do very much at all over there unless Fitzbro leaves these. But he's probably going to have noticed that and bring them back. And yeah, it's not going to be able to do much on that side of the map, I don't think.
Yeah, so Viola is trying to, you know, get some pressure in. He does have siege engineering, by the way, completed. So he actually might try to build a ram and try to push the English. We'll see. But his longbows are far in front. He needs to actually get them out of the tower and try to pick up the archers. Because the archers of Viola are just picking off all the spearmen. And then the knights just come in and clean everything up. So he needs to be very, very careful.
Yeah, he's still managing to keep this in the aura of the network of castles just. Yeah, a bit
this
of
is the,
oh.
Yeah, this is the point where you need the spears. Like right now the spears need to come into play, but he's lost all of them. So now there's nothing to actually deal with the knights, and I gotta say Viola is like doing these battles a lot better, where he's just patiently waiting, picking up the spears, sacrificing the archers. And now the knights can, you know, have a field day with these units.
Yeah, a few times it has looked like a bit of misplayed micro a few times from Fitzy here with those spearmen. He's looked in a really good position a number of times in terms of military population, but never really managed to take advantage of it. And yeah, I mean, again, a lot of these knights are on very low HP again. If he can manage to get a few hits on them, even this one's gonna lose to the one spearman. But
yeah, he manages to defend. And again, this is the, you know, why I call it budget French, because these knights are as good as dead, right? So they're not healing up, they're not getting their health back. And what I was talking about. Rus food, if you look in the corner of the map, you actually got the boar, and boar is actually insane amount of food you can get. It's 2,000, and he's gathering lumber there as well, which, you know, lack of scouting is what one of the issues is, because Rus out of being in a position where he was completely stuck in his base, is now just gathering food at random spots that, you know, could have been easily prevented if you just, you know, massed up your army and just kind of moved this one. But the one time he did overextend, the Rus got kind of the map control back, and now he's the one that's putting the pressure.
So would you say, is the primary problem for Fitz in this game these kind of unit trickles rather than gathering enough of a mass just to do the job properly once? Is that where it's gone wrong to this point?
Yeah, so remember when he denied deer in the top left? That was a great move, and he forced the opponent to move all the way around. So what you do then is you just gather up your army and you go to the next food source. But what happened is he kind of stayed with the same army with no reinforcement, and he just kind of got overwhelmed at that point. And then he had a hard time actually regathering his units and kind of recollecting himself. And the Rus player just kept picking off smaller and smaller amounts of units.
Yeah, curiously, considering the makeup of this map, Fitzbro now has got a lot of wood stacked and food problems. That's his seems to be the issue. Going in for a big confrontation here, which doesn't look... The problem is for Fitzbro that Viola's doing such a good job of picking off these spears in every battle. He's done it again. Those spears just melted to his to these archers, and he's pushing forward, trying to get these spearmen into the knights, but at the same time, Viola's just picking them off very, very carefully, one by one, and just like that, they're all gone again, and he's got his knights over and over again, straight back on top of the longbowmen. This happened 5 or 6 times on this match. Now he's sending out early Man of Arms. Maybe Man of Arms would have been the call a little bit earlier, because at least they're going to do okay against everything on the field.
Yeah, he's trying to switch into like horseman men at arms, but I think it's just too late. Like once the English loses that critical number of units, it is very hard to kind of recollect, because you are the one that's supposed to have the number in your opponent, and you're the one that's supposed to be picking the battles. But instead, it kind of went the other way around, where the Rus player is the one picking up spearmen and then engaging into him.
Fitzbro put up a very, very good fight, but game does look really, really tough from this position. You know, in all of these games, as soon as you start seeing that roll just start making its way through, so much damage right now to the infrastructure of Fitzbro. So expensive. Every one of these buildings lost. Every one of these houses lost now. Very, very expensive. Viola, in the meantime, looks like he may be looking at an age up soon. Just looking at that macro, sitting on 500 gold and 1,000 food. We'll have to see what he does. Doesn't really need to. At this point, can just keep powering in units and he'll be totally fine. So many rams. 3rd ram now going up. And it's just... very, very crushing. Just looking at those current resources, Viola's not got any worry in the world right now. And yeah, Fitzbro trying to relocate. He's got all of his eco now at the very, very back of the base. But even the English town centre is not going to be enough to deal with this. These rams are about to roll into the town centre, and when they do, there's just no army for Fitzbro to defend.
Yeah, he's trying to switch to mass horsemen, but he would need another 20 to even try to contest this. Like, horsemen are actually not that bad into lancers because they are cheaper, so you could potentially overwhelm the lancers, but there's just too many units. I mean, this is 28, 29 archers and 15 lancers, so you're going to need a lot of horsemen to actually manage to overwhelm that army.
Yeah, and he's literally taken out every single thing on that side of the base. Now pushing into the town centre. Well, I mean, we can start wrapping this one up because Fitzbro just doesn't have a way back into it looking at the score. Fair to say we witnessed a very good match here between two very evenly matched players. As now the Horsemen do go for these early knights. Actually, I mean, Fitzbro did manage to get on top of them and have quite a good little exchange there because Viola's archers were not really paying very much attention, but just not going to matter. These archers are basically one-shotting the horsemen right now. That town centre has almost gone down. Does get the villagers out. They're going to take down 1 or 2 of these rams. 1 ram's gone down, but he's just so far behind. Fun enough, this is actually some of the better micro we've seen from Fitz, I think. He's actually done an okay job here, but probably an issue of just too late. He has got the horsemen all over the archers, full surround, but just not got enough units, right?
Yeah, just not enough. I think, you know, a little bit too late, and Rus, in the end, will manage to take this one. He also got castle just now, so that is just a nail in the coffin for Fitzbro.
Yeah. Yeah, and now with that, the entire army of Fitzbro has been depleted, and he calls GG. Well, that's a GG. Viola played it well. Fitzbro, very, very unfortunate with that map generation. A really, really gross map. That being said, had his chances to win the game, Beastie, right? He, irrespective of the wood, he was very much in the ascendancy.
So if you, these last two games are very, I do think the map generation was unfortunate, but I don't think it contributed to that game in